What's up? What's going on? All the things. So it's been a while since I have done a devlog for the indie game that I'm currently making, which is called Squirrel Forest. I will just jump right into it. There's probably been quite a few changes since, well, the last devlog, but if you're not aware, it has been a very, very slow period for this game in the past few months. So it's been a holiday season, and even with that, I have not spent as much time as I would want, ideally, on this game. This is just the menu screen scrolling. It doesn't have the UI. Here we go. I'll just enable the UI back. I have done a few changes for the font. You can see the aliasing, the anti-aliasing is on, so the font is more, I guess, smoother. This is a intermission. This is an intro screen, kind of. It's a thing that tells you a quick, brief story of what happened and what the idea is. So the script is also a bit cringy and weird now, but for ages the forest has existed in peace. But then came the industrial age, and yeah, I don't know what it says. And the forest was put at risk, right? So it's I do need to work on this on the presentation too. I just quickly threw this together to experiment with the idea of the terrain, right? Like I just build on top of that. The terrain goes, you see there's a lot of trees, and then boom, the wood has become very valuable. Deforestation has put the squirrels at risk of extinction, and you see there's not so many trees anymore. Everything is kind of cut and everything. I can also improve on that. Well, I'll have to. And then boom, the game switches into the main game, where we don't have a tutorial yet. We don't kind of have anything that explains what the person has to do. We kind of sort of do have this in the bottom right corner, which says main storage does not exist. So you're like, well, what do I do then? So kind of I'm hoping that the people playing may be like, oh, there's a build button, first thing to the left, and first thing to the right says no storage. You're like, oh, this seems like a storage. It's not very intuitive to do. However, I will, we'll have to improve on that and work on changing it up. So when you click resource stockpile, obviously you start seeing more things that happen, and you're like, hey, on the right side you see resource stockpile, required resources, and it says it's a place to store resources, and then Z and X, you can rotate it. But so naturally I will have to do tutorials, right? I'll have to somehow add more tutorial material to explain what's happening, and then make this a more engaging and rewarding experience to actually build and everything. However, I have a suspicion that this game will not have that big of an audience. There will be very few people playing it. However, what I'm hoping is that the people who are playing it, who will be playing it, will be the ones who are actually passionate about like city builders and strategy games. So what I believe is that they will most likely know how to operate the controls, the camera, for example. For example, my flatmate has never played a strategy game apparently, and I sat him down and was like, okay, dude, rotate the camera for me, and he wasn't able to do it. I'm not even kidding, no joke, he wasn't able to do this. So well, I had some sort of an, I don't know, it's probably hidden now, but some tutorial that actually explains how to use it. Q and E, or the middle mouse button and move the mouse. It's so simple, and it comes so natural to some people, but it doesn't to others who have not played things like that. A person who has played first-person shooters his whole life may not know that W and ASD, moves the camera, even though it's so simple. It's like, right? But true, just stay with me for a moment. Like a mouse. What is a computer mouse? A computer mouse is an input device which translates horizontal movement, like you go on the X and Y plane, to a vertical movement. For someone who has not used a computer mouse before, someone who has never ever used a computer mouse, how would you expect that person to know that pushing the mouse forwards actually raises the cursor up? Like, but anyway, this is just a complete tangent. It's not for this video. So yeah, a quick update video that's all I wanted to do. Building and gathering is currently what's in the game. So you can gather loose resources like this. Let's say this is a stone resource, right? You can gather that resource. You can also gather from deposits. You can gather from deposits by building, let's say, a berry gathering hut, right? Your squirrels do need to eat. So you choose a strategic point of where you want to build your gathering building. As you can see, this guy is hungry currently. What he's gonna do is he's gonna like finish his job, and then let's see, he comes to a pine cone, picks it up, and he's like, yep, that's mine, and eats it. So they do have, well, this artificial intelligence, right? They have a mind of their own, and they kind of like go and eat if they want to eat. They go and, as you can see, they go and find branches around if they need to build something. But this is the beginning of the game where you still kind of have the resources scattered across and around, and you can still gather them and build using them, right? But you're supposed to transition into, let's say, a wood farm. You're eventually supposed to transition into actually gathering the resources in a different way, which is, and that's where I face the wall. I hit the wall with the development and the design idea, where you're supposed to use those farms to actually produce the resource chains, you know? Like here, you can assign this guy to gather. Zen is gathering. Where's Zen? Okay, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go here and gather, right? And he's like, picks it up, brings it here, and brings it all the way up to 5, and then, you know, brings them all to the storage. But anyway, and then I hit a design wall. It's like, right, but now we need to come up with all of the different chains of resources that exist. And I also kind of added modding capability, so like you can create your own JSON files with like different resources and different buildings, and like, it's my first project. This is my first commercially viable game, which I will be publishing on Steam, and I'm feeling overwhelmed with the scope of this project. I think that's the way to put it. But I'm feeling hopeful that I'll be able to finish it. You know, the design problem that I just talked about like a minute ago is, yeah, how do we make it fun? What should be the end goal? And how do we make all the resource chains linked together? You know, I've only had, so let's say this is a wood farm, right? So Ven, this little squirrel guy, is, well, he's tired now, but when he's working in the wood farm, he's creating raw wood, which then I think you can use sawmill, and the sawmill converts raw wood to wood. As you can see, it's like a next level building resource, but it's not apparent for people who have not played such a thing before. Maybe Anno 1800 or Anno 1701 or any other kind of game which has that resource chain thing. But, and then boom, now you see, you know, the shelter needs repair. But then the repair currently does not need any resource. So see, this guy comes up and repairs it. Or this one, boom, repairs it. So it doesn't need resource. However, the system exists. I can make it so that, you know, every building requires a different kind of repairing resource. It's just that it's all getting complicated, and I'm feeling, again, overwhelmed with the scope of this project, and I can clearly admit that I overscoped. However, this game is still not as big as some other people's first projects, you know, like when Phil Fish was making Fez. Fez is a huge game. Wow, it's awesome. It's an amazing game. However, the guy took like, what, 5 years to finish it? And he's like, I don't know if it was a very big and successful game, but this is just going to be a little, you know, experience to gather stuff. Oh, I didn't mention, you are supposed to free the squirrels, which are, as you can see, stuck in the ground. Well, too bad. But anyway, there are squirrels like this one who are stuck in the ground. Well, not stuck in the ground, but like their tails are squished by the tree, and you're supposed to free them. Once you free them, see, it says you do not have residences, so you need to build more residences, and then you need to gather the resources required. Once you free them, they will join you, and you will be able to, oh, look at this, a nice snow patch, rocks, stone. You will be able to free them. And the map is, I didn't mention it, it's a procedurally generated map, so every time you're gonna have a different terrain and everything. But anyway, they will join you and they will help you. The only thing you will not be able to do is actually control them. So you can see I can tell Zen or Ven, the two main guys who decided to, you know, help the forest, to go and do things. Like, I can right click on this resource, right? He's like, okay, I'll pick it up. You can say drop resource here. That's a wide, big button. I'll have to work on it. See, it goes and does it. You can right click on the resource storage. It's not apparent because, you know, you're not told about this, but yeah, so you can control them. Anyway, that's me done for this video. I'll probably check in eventually with more content from Squirrel Forest if folk are interested. If anyone has any ideas, any suggestions for this game, I'm very open to new ideas, because currently the way I think the game is gonna go, you're gonna, you know, build up your colony, your village, I guess your forest, right? And as you can see, there are these stumps. So I'm like, maybe you need to, you know, get those stumps out of the ground, and in the place of them, you plant trees, like let's say oak, right? So I would make it so that when you take the stump out, an area becomes, you know, plantable or whatever, and then you need to get, let's say here, do we have any resources for that? Oh, one. Let's say I'll send the squirrel. Ven is out for a mission. So as you can see, we've sent Ven on a mission, and it says here, Ven is on a mission for another 42 seconds. So this is just like scouting missions, which are also not complete, kind of, but they have an opportunity for you to get the acorns, the resource which is used to plant trees, I guess. Boom, he's come back from a mission. As you can see, the mission has gotten us an oak resource. Well, not an oak, an acorn. This tree needs an acorn and a branch, and boom, the tree starts growing. So systems exist here, but it's like a tech demo. So that's it. That's me done. Really appreciate you stopping by, checking this indie game. Thank you for all your support and whatnot, you know. If you have any ideas, as I said, leave them in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. Wishlist the game on Steam. It's available on Steam. You can probably even just go on Steam and search Squirrel Forest. It should pop up. If anything, the link is in the description. There is a forum section. I was trying to set up a forum myself, but then, yeah, I think it's just best to use the Steam forum. So the Steam community hub type of thing, something exists for this game. There's a forum. Leave your ideas. I will probably just release this game into early access eventually, when all the systems are actually working together nicely and you can play through the game. I'll release it to early access most likely, because I don't feel like I'll be able to finish this game properly in the upcoming year, you know? It's like, I do want to release it, let it go, and see how it goes, instead of just, you know, working on it for so long that it just becomes, it's already a mush of code. So that's it. That's me done. This is for the third time. Really appreciate anyone. Stay safe, and see you later.